Yo sup guys, welcome back to our channel. So in this video, we are gonna see what If Naruto adopted by 5 Elements of Gods. This is part 2, and if you want more then please leave a like, share, and subscribe. Let's get in the video. Everyone was currently staring at Naruto. He had just appeared out of nowhere and he was holding a sword of the likes none of them had ever seen. Sasuke was looking at the sword wondering where Naruto got it. Sakura was wondering if Naruto had more than one. The rest of them were just staring at it wondering where the heck a sword like that was made. So, Zabuza said after a few minutes of silence, I guess you're the last of these brats that was sent for backup. Yeah, Naruto said setting the sword on his shoulder, I am. Zabuza surveyed his opponent with interest in his eye. Though he was a kid he looked like stern stuff. When he looked in Naruto's eyes he saw the last thing he expected to see. Experience. This kid had probably fought and killed before. He saw a calm warrior who could probably take on an army and survive. A fellow swordsman huh? Zabuza said as he finished his examination. Yeah, Naruto said, I've been training with his thing for years. Oh really? Zabuza asked not believing him. Then he got an idea. Listen kid, how about we make a deal? What would that be? We fight, Zabuza said, one-on-one. The loser dies. Zabuza smiled behind his mask as he knew from what he saw that this kid wouldn't be easy to beat and would probably be a real challenge. Naruto don't do it, Sakura yelled. He's an A-ranked criminal, Kakashi continued, he'll rip you apart. Let's play old man, Naruto said getting into a Kenjutsu stance. Zabuza did the same. All of the others spoke out against Naruto fighting except Anko and Yugao. They both knew what he could do so they weren't really worried. Then the two swordsmen vanished. They were all drawn by the sudden sound of clashing steel. They turned to see the two fighting each other. Their swords clashed with loud clangs each time. They vanished again, and multiple clangs were heard as they reappeared again a few feet away from them. Not bad kid, Zabuza said, if I could I'd try to get you to become the 8th legendary swordsman. Thanks, Naruto panted, but I think I'll stick with my village. Sorry. Zabuza smiled under his mask. He didn't know that a kid would be able to push him to his limit. What he didn't know was that Naruto was only pretending to be at his level. Naruto currently had his full power sealed up, but it could be released at a moment of his choosing. He, however, was saving his real power for the people he knew had to die. The two charged at each other again and Zabuza got knocked back. As of now he was tired of fooling around kid. Water style. Water clone, Zabuza said calmly as he went through hand signs. 6 water clones materialized out of the water around them. All of them charged at Naruto, but they didn't get much done. As soon as they charged Naruto vanished and the clones all burst into water. Zabuza was starting to get nervous now. You're pretty good kiddo, Zabuza said, but you're going to need more strength if you're going to beat me. Zabuza went through hand signs. Naruto noticed and started to do the same. Water style. Water dragon. Ice style. White tiger. A large water dragon formed behind Zabuza and shot forward in an insane burst of speed. Water formed a large tiger behind Naruto, but a frozen wind came and froze it forming a large ice tiger. It charged forward and met the dragon freezing it solid. Naruto rushed forward and punched the dragon shattering it like glass and sending ice shards at the mist demon. Zabuza dodged them and landed a few feet away. So you have an ice bloodline, Zabuza said slightly shocked at the move the kid used. No, Naruto answered, but I do have an affinity for every element. Zabuza paled behind his mask. If this kid could use every element as a weapon there was not telling all the tricks this kid had up his sleeve. The rest of the Konoha ninja were all in shock as well. A lot were wondering how Naruto was able to get so much power. Sasuke normally would have been jealous, but he knew that fighting Naruto would more than like end up with him dying. And? Good thing Naruto talked some sense into this guy otherwise he would have died much sooner than normal. Naruto charged at Zabuza again and nearly got him if the swordsman hadn't blocked it with his sword. The two exchanged more blows and Naruto was starting to get a little bit bored. He decided it was time to end this. He jumped back a good 3 feet and his sword started to glow with blue chakra. Then he ran forward and jumped in the air. He brought his sword down in an arc and yelled, Uzumaki style. Sword breaker. The move actually held true to its name. Almost as soon as the two swords met Zabuza's broke to pieces. The hardened steel shattered like glass and sent the swordsman to the ground. How did my sword break? Zabuza thought, it was well tempered and made of the strongest ores available. What is that sword of his made of? Your time has come Zabuza Mamachi, Naruto said bringing his sword up. He would have brought it down if Haku hadn't gotten in the way. Move Haku, Naruto said, I have to do this. No, she said defiantly, I don't care how strong you are. I won't let you harm Zabuza-sama. Well isn't this touching, someone new said. Everyone turned around to see a short old man with sunglasses, a tux and a cane. Behind him were a lot of mercenaries. Beto, Zabuza growled. The demon of the mist, the old man laughed, taken down by a little kid how disappointing. Well, it looks like our contract is null and void, Zabuza, but don't worry, I'll take good care of your girl. Almost as soon as Sasuke heard that about Haku, he growled. He couldn't understand it, but he had a sudden drive and urge to protect her. As he got up, the others looked and they couldn't believe what they saw. Sasuke's eyes had turned red and had one comma in each eye. Sasuke had awakened his Sharingan. Naruto also felt anger building up in him. Luckily, one of the lessons his mother had taught him was to keep his anger under control. It was also how he managed to calm down over the years. Beto, Naruto growled, raising his sword, time to meet your end. Beto smirked and turned to his men. Kill them all, he ordered, but leave the women, they'll be fun to break. The mercenaries all ran at the group. The Konoha ninja all looked ready to fight until a strong wave of killing intent washed over the whole place. Everyone saw that the source of the killing intent was Naruto. Beto, he said in a strong powerful voice, you have brought much pain to this place, and now you will pay for that. Naruto raised the golden sword and pointed the blade downwards and had the side of the blade facing them. Judgment! He yelled. There was a flash of white chakra that covered Naruto and formed large white wings. Everyone stared at the chakra's beauty. I have judged your souls, Naruto said as he opened his eyes, guilty. Naruto drew the sword back and it glowed pure white and he swung it yelling, holy execution. The swing of the blade sent out a wave of white chakra that went through the mercenaries and turned them to dust as they screamed. It went all the way across the bridge and destroyed Geto, who screamed as he was torn apart. His task done, Naruto turned to face Zabuza and Haku. It was then that Zabuza did something that no one had expected him to do. Please, he said, getting down on his knees, bowing, absolve me of my sins, agent of Kami. What sins would those be? Naruto asked. I have killed many people, Zabuza said, I have committed murder and slain the innocent. I wish to seek repentance. Idiot, said a small voice. Zabuza opened his eyes to see a little girl. She had her red hair and pigtails and green eyes. She was also transparent, meaning she was a ghost. You're not a bad guy, she said, you didn't kill me when that mean man told you to, but I died anyway. Stop beating yourself up, mister. No eyebrows. The little girl smiled before she vanished. Zabuza got up and smiled under his mask. Looks like we aren't enemies, Kakashi, the swordsman said, extending his hand, which the Cyclops promptly shook. Hey Zabuza, Naruto said, walking up behind him, what are you going to do now? I don't really know, Zabuza said, shaking his head, I'm not sure if I can keep on running now that I'm out of the mercenary business. Why don't you come with us to the village? Naruto asked, surprising a few people. The only Kenjutsu specialist we have is deathly sick and a new bloodline would be really helpful to the village, Naruto explained. You're not serious, are you, Naruto? Sakura said, making her presence known, they both attacked us and should be. Sakura. Sasuke growled as he got up with help from Haku, the mission is pretty much over and they aren't our enemies anymore. They have given up and are no our allies. But she hurt you, Sakura said, trying to get Sasuke to see her way, she could have killed you. But she didn't, Naruto said, she didn't kill him, and I think I know why. You do? Zabuza asked. I do, Naruto said, I think she likes him. Zabuza was silent, then laughed. He laughed until he looked at Haku. He saw that she was looking fondly at the boy with a slight blush on her face. Zabuza smiled under his mask as he saw the display. Well, he said after a few moments of silence, I guess we have a reason to go with you to the village. Sakura was glaring at Haku, and then she shot forward. Get away from Sasuke-kun. He's mine. She yelled, trying to get her for looking at him. She was barely a few feet from the when slap. Sakura was sent reeling from the blow. She got up with a low groan of pain. When she looked up, her eyes widened. Haku stood above her. Her eyes filled with annoyance and a slight anger. How dare you, she growled, how dare you try and claim something you have no right to try and take. Yes, I can claim him, Sakura said as she got up, I love him. He loves me. We were meant to be together and he will be mine. Not yours, you little slut. There was a strong silence, and then the air around them froze. Everyone took a huge step back, even Naruto, at the large amount of killing intent coming off of Zabuza and Sasuke. Sakura, however, she was standing still with a look of horror in her eyes. Her knees buckled and she fell to the ground at the sudden pressure. Don't you ever, Zabuza growled, ever refer to my daughter like that. Sakura, Sasuke said, I have tried to stay patient with you, and now it has reached its end. He picked Sakura up by the front of her shirt. Listen here, you pink-haired nuisance. I don't love you. I never have, and right now I don't think I will. All you've done is fawn over me and get in the way. Wake up and start taking this seriously and find someone who actually will like you. He let her down and walked away with Haku. Sakura felt something and turned around. Almost everyone was looking at her with disdain, even her own sensei. As she sat there, she thought back. She remembered how she always fawned over Sasuke, how she had idolized him. How she had tried to stay thin for him. Then she remembered how he always rejected her. How he ignored her. And how she was always weak and she could barely do the simplest of ninja tricks. She held her head in shame. Meanwhile, Naruto smiled. It seems that things were starting to turn for the better. Sasuke wasn't as arrogant as before and Sakura seemed to be considering his words. He grinned as he left. There may be hope for her yet, he thought. 1 week later. Do you really have to go, brother? Inari whined as Naruto and his friends got ready to leave. Naruto chuckled inwardly at the antics shown by his so-called little brother. In the week that had passed, the Hidden Mist village had progressed greatly. The bridge was finished and the town was coming back to life. They also saw Naruto as a hero. A lot of girls tried to get Naruto to date them, but they all ended with them getting rejected and Naruto saying that he was in love with someone already. The teams had also changed. Sasuke and Haku were no an item. It took a lot of convincing on Zabuza's part. After an hour of asking and Haku giving him the puppy dog eyes, he said yes. Sakura had been quiet the first few days, but she had finally given up her pursuit of Sasuke. She also got the chance to apologize to Naruto for what she had said and how she had treated him. Naruto wholeheartedly accepted. Sorry kid, Naruto said, but I have to go back to my village. Well, Inari said, you can come visit us, can't you? I can, Naruto said grinning, and I'm pretty sure I will. He leaned down and put a hand on Inari's head. Take care of your mom and the old man, Naruto said, especially the old man if he keeps drinking that stuff in the jug. Inari laughed to himself as Naruto and friends turned and left. So grandpa, Inari said turning to his grandfather, what are we going to name the bridge? How about the Super Tazuna Bridge? He asked. Almost as soon as he said that he was hit over the head with a rock and a shoe that someone had thrown at him. Among other things. Alright. Tazuna yelled, getting the thrown objects to stop, since that name is clearly out of the question. How about the Great Naruto Bridge? That name got cheers from a lot of people. Alright, Tazuna said, we name it after the hero of our village. I say we call it the super erotic hot springs that lets old men bring cameras, said an old man with white hair sitting on a toad, who's with me. There were cries of no. No gonna happen, and pervert. All of which were followed by loud girly screams as the man was beaten within an inch of his life. But Naruto and the group Anko started laughing. What's so funny, Anko? Kakashi asked. He was not reading his orange book because he knew that both Anko and Yugao would kill him. I just got the feeling that a pervert is getting a harsh beating, was her answer. Naruto smiled to himself as he knew who it was. Naruto and his friends all walked until they saw the gates to Konoha. All the while things were shockingly quiet. Sakura wasn't all over Sasuke as usual. Apparently since he got a girlfriend she had finally given up on him. Haku and Sasuke were walking hand in hand with Haku's rabbit, Fluffy, at their feet. Hopping to keep up with the two. Anko and Yugao were both keeping an eye on Zabuza, who just kept his eyes ahead. Kakashi walked behind them just itching to get home. The sooner he got home the sooner he could get back to his orange book. Man, this guy is an idiot. Hold it, said one of the guards as they got close, state your business. Kakashi with Team 7 and Team 11 returning from a mission outside the village. He said, getting the guards to calm down slightly, but they got on guard once they saw Zabuza. Why is he here? The other guard asked a kunai at the ready. Zabuza, Kakashi said, and his adoptive daughter Haku have both agreed to join our ranks. We have brought them here so they could get the approval of the Hokage. The two looked unsure, but they let them pass. Naruto and the others made their way through the village to the Hokage tower. Once they walked in, a few Anbu tried to stop them, but a quick explanation of the circumstances got them to back off. When they entered the room, Naruto saw a quick flash of orange and mentally groaned. Is every guy over 30 a pervert? He mentally asked himself. Kakashi, the old man asked, why is there a missing nin in our village? You see, Kakashi said, during the mission we encountered these two. They were our enemies at first, but they were betrayed by their employer. After which they both decided that they were tired of running and decided to join our village. The Hokage was silent for a moment, making the two nervous. What do you have to contribute? He asked after a few minutes. Well, Zabuza answered, I have exceptional skill in Kenjutsu and can teach the younger generation. I can also teach the silent killing technique to them. As for my daughter Haku, she has a deadly aim with Senbon and she has an ice bloodline. That got Sarutobi thinking. He knew the council would find out about this and that the girl's bloodline was going to make her a target for the civilian council. It was then he noticed that she and Sasuke were holding hands. He smiled at that. Since the civilian council kissed up to the Uchiha, then this would make things easier. Alright, he said after thinking, you will be allowed to stay, but Zabuza will be on a 3-month probation because of his past crimes. The swordsman nodded. He had had a feeling that that was going to happen. Let's go Haku, Sasuke said, I want to show you the complex. The two left and Naruto and Sakura both went home. Naruto walked down the street ignoring the glares he was getting. Naruto kept on walking until he found himself at the resurrected Namikaze complex. He smiled to himself as he walked inside. Minato hadn't told them Naruto's heritage. Welcome home kid, Tobirama said as he noticed the boy. He and Hashirama were working on rebuilding the Senju complex, but until they finally got the place up and running again, they were staying at Naruto's. Naruto noticed his mom and dad in the kitchen, and he noticed that someone wasn't around. "Where's Hashirama?" Naruto asked. "Out of the village," Minato answered. "I think he went to go get his granddaughter." "Tsunade?" Naruto asked, raising an eyebrow. "Yep," Kushina said. "She left the village because everyone she loved here died. Her grandfather, her brother and her boyfriend." "Ouch," Naruto muttered as he heard that. Naruto heard a knock at the door. He went to answer it and found Sasuke there. "Hey Sasuke," Naruto said, "what's up?" "I wanted to talk to you about that sword you had back on the wave mission," Sasuke said. "You want one like it?" It was more of a statement than a question. "Yes," Sasuke said, "I do. What I want to know is why." Naruto said. Sasuke came in and sat down on the couch. "In time," he said, "I've learned that real strength comes from wanting to protect someone. I want a sword like that so I can protect Haku. I know that the council is going to try something so I want to be there for her." Naruto smiled. "That's the answer I wanted to hear." Sasuke grinned. "But I can't just give you a sword like that, Sasuke." Sasuke grin fell when he noticed Naruto grinning. "If you want one you'll have to make it yourself." Naruto motioned for Sasuke to follow him. They both went to the forge where Sasuke noticed that the metals there were similar to the metals he saw on Naruto's sword. "These are very special metals, Sasuke," Naruto said. "When forged into a weapon they become virtually unbreakable. You can forge your own weapon with these." Sasuke smiled to himself as he continued. With a sword made out of that stuff he could beat his brother. Sasuke still wanted to do that, but he decided to not let it consume his life like he had let it do before. "Although," Naruto continued, "I wouldn't suggest making a sword like mine. That sword is extremely heavy and it took me a year to get that strong. I'd suggest making a ninja to or a katana. Happy forging." But that Naruto left and let Sasuke get to work. 6 hours later. Naruto sat on the couch with Ino in his arms. The two had been sitting with each other and watching TV for the past hour. Ino was currently in Naruto's lap. She was grinning and moved in to kiss him when the door suddenly opened. Naruto let Ino down and he looked to see who came in. He saw Sasuke with a victorious smirk on his face. He had soot on him in a few places and a few burns on his hands, but that's not what caught Naruto's attention. What got his attention was his sword. It was a katana but made out of the materials from the forge. The blade was pure white with a hint of gold in the middle of it. The hilt was mostly gold and had brown material making it easier to grip. At the bottom of the blade where it met the hilt was the symbol. "So you finally got it done," Naruto said. "It took you long enough." "Hey," Sasuke said, "it's hard to forge a sword." Naruto chuckled. He had forged his weapons as well so he knew it was hard. "Well," Naruto said glancing at the clock, "it's going on to 9 o'clock, you better head home. That means you too, Ino. I don't want your dad going after me again." Ino giggled at the memory. Naruto had announced that he was dating Ino to her parents. Izumi, Ino's mom, was thrilled. Inoichi not so much. He pulled Naruto to the side and said that if he even tried to hurt his daughter, that he would tear his mind apart from the inside out. Of course Izumi found them and she scolded her husband for it. Ino got up to leave and Sasuke was heading for the door when an Anbu appeared in a swirl of leaves. "Uzumaki-san, Ichina-san," he said, "the council has requested your presence." Naruto sighed to himself. So much for going to bed on a good note. A few minutes later in the council chambers. Naruto and Sasuke entered the council chambers to find the rest of their team, along with Zabuza and Haku. Naruto looked around the council. He saw 3 old people glaring at him along with some of the civilian council. Apparently a lot of them hadn't gotten what his father and the other 2 Kages said. "So what's the council want with us?" Sasuke asked. "We have brought you here to discuss the reasons behind bringing a missing nin into our village," Hiashi Hyuga said. "Well," Kakashi said, "it had to do with our mission to Wave. We had encountered these 2 and they were paid to attack us and kill our client. However, they were later betrayed by the man that hired them and became our allies. After the battle they decided to join us. I still think that having them join is a bad idea," said a large councilman. "They do have a few things that they can contribute to the village," Sakura said. "What do they have to contribute?" Rose Haruno asked. "Well," Zabuza said, "I can teach Kinjutsu because I hear the only other swordsman here is ill. I can also teach the silent killing technique for probable assassins." The council seemed to consider this. The silent killing technique would be very handy in certain cases. Also they would need a new swordsman to teach the younger generation since Hate was sick. They all agreed. "Zabuza will stay," said the Haruno councilwoman, "but what does the girl have to offer?" "I," Haku said, "have a bloodline that allows me to control ice." That really got the council's attention. A new bloodline was obviously something that they could not turn down. "She could be of use to us," thought Hamura. "The girl will be allowed to stay," Kaharu said. "I also suggest that she be put under the craw." "I refuse," Haku said. As do I, Zabuza growled. I won't have my daughter turned into a piece of breeding stock just because of a little bloodline. Your daughter? Asked Sum. Yes, Zabuza said, I first regarded her as a tool, but after a few years she grew on me and became the daughter that I never had. Since she is your daughter, Shibi Abiram said, would you be betrothing her to anyone? I think I already have, Zabuza said turning to Sasuke who grinned as he took Haku's hand. Some of the council mentally grinned at that. With an Uchiha containing 2 bloodlines then they would be even stronger. We have some business to discuss with the Uzumaki boy if you don't mind, said Hamura. But that knowing what was going to happen that the teams, Zabuza and Haku left. What do you want? Naruto asked. There is something that has come to our attention from your mission, said Kaheru. We have heard that you possess a sword that was able to destroy Zabuza's. Yes, I do have a sword like that, Naruto said knowing what they wanted. May we see it? Naruto undid the bandages on his left arm and revealed the kanji tattoo on his forearm. He focused his chakra into it and in a flash the sword he used in the fight in Wave. Everyone was staring at it, especially a certain member on the civilian council. His name was Dan Higurashi, a weapons merchant. Everyone knew that the Higurashi were known for their expertise with weapons. He had seen many swords in his life, but never one as this. What kind of sword is that? He asked with a shaky voice. I call it Angel's Hand, Naruto said. I forged this sword myself while I was training outside the village. Could you make more of those? Kaheru asked. She knew that with an army of ninjas with weapons like that would be unstoppable. I can't, Naruto said. The sword is made out of a very rare elements. Even if you did manage to find that right elements there won't be enough to make weapons for all the ninja. But you will give one to Uchiha-sama, said a council member. I can't just give him one like this, Naruto said. I earned my right to wield this sword when I forged it. If he wants one he will have to forge it himself. Then you will teach him how to forge one, the same councilman said. Don't have to, Naruto said smugly, he's already made one. What? Kaheru asked. Sasuke asked me about the sword when we got back, Naruto explained as he sealed his sword back into his arm. I told him what I told you. It took him a few hours, but he managed to finish one. So he already has a copy of your sword? Rose Haruno asked. It's not an exact copy. I told him that it took me a while to be strong enough to lift this. Since he didn't have the time to go through strength training he made a katana. It's not as heavy but it's just as strong. Is there anything else that I have to talk to you people about? No. Well, goodbye. Naruto turned around and left. Naruto walked down the road home. He was walking when he heard a scream. He followed the noise to find at least 3 guys standing over a little girl. She was short and had brown hair. She also had triangular marks on her cheeks. Marks that Naruto knew instantly. Well, said the leader, it looks like we got someone offering herself up to us. The girls whimpered as she saw the looks on the men's faces. Leave her, growled someone from behind them. The men all turned to see Naruto standing a few feet from them. Oh, it's just a kid, said the leader, back off twerp, we're busy. If any of them were listening then they would have heard the sound of metal hitting the ground and footsteps walking toward them. A few minutes later at the Inyazuka complex. I can't believe you. You little twerp. Tiba Inyazuka was currently on the run from his aunt Anya, an exact twin of his mother Tsume. One auntie, she'll be fine, Kiba tried to reason with his aunt, but it was no use. Fine? She repeated, how's it going to be fine you little? She was interrupted when there was a knock at the door. I got it, Hana said going to the door. Yes. Could be heard then, oh my gosh. Mom Aunt Anya, I need you two here now. The 2 women and Kiba ran to the room before that line even reached their ears. What they saw shocked them. In the room was Naruto Uzumaki with his trench coat wrapped around a little girl. Sia. Anya cried as she saw her daughter. Mommy. The 2 ran and embraced each other. Tsume noticed a bruise on Sia's cheek and looked at Naruto. Don't ask, Naruto said, the people who were going to do something are in a world of hurt right now. Tsume grinned at that. Naruto turned and left for home. For a good night's sleep he was going to need it. Naruto was filled with a bit of excitement. He had just found out about the Chunin exams being held in the village. When Anko and Yuigao told him he was ecstatic. Flashback. Naruto, Anko said as their team meeting began, me and Yuigao have decided to let you participate in the Chunin exams this year. Really? Naruto asked smiling. Yes, Yuigao said, it will start in a few weeks, so be ready. Naruto nodded and he left his sisters. He was still smiling as he left. Then flashback, Naruto was walking when he noticed something really weird. A rock was following him. A completely square rock with 2 eye holes. Their stealth still stinks kid, Naruto said suddenly. Then there was a huge burst of smoke. Cough, I think you used too much gunpowder, said a boy's voice that Naruto recognized. You said you wanted it, big sniff, went another boy's voice. Yeah, said a third voice. This one belonged to a girl. The smoke revealed 3 small children. One was short and had spiky brown hair with a yellow shirt and a scarf around his neck. The second had a pair of glasses and apparently sinus problems. The third was the only girl with brown hair done up in pigtails. I'm Kohinahamaru, the first said, the future Hokage. I'm Yuden, the second said, and I like math. I'm Mogi, the final one said, the hottest girl in the third grade. And we are, they all said together, the Kohinahamaru Corporation. Naruto shook his head. He remembered Kohinahamaru from when he graduated the academy. Weird explaining thing that's not a flashback. How Naruto met Kohinahamaru. Naruto had gone to see the Hokage because he had felt something off about Mizuki and that he should tighten security around the Forbidden Scroll. While he was there, Kohinahamaru attacked his grandfather the Hokage. He tripped and blamed Naruto for it. Naruto wasn't in the mood when the kids started yelling at him, so Naruto just picked him up by the shirt and told him to shut his mouth. At that moment a man in black with sunglasses, Ibisu, came in and said that it was the Hokage's grandson Naruto was messing with. Naruto just bopped him on the head. After that the kid wouldn't leave him alone. He begged Naruto to train him, so he did. He managed to teach the kid some tree walking until he got the kid to stop. The kid then told him that he was training so he could get a shortcut to being Hokage. Naruto told him that he should grow up and that there are no shortcuts to being Hokage. At that moment Ibisu came and Naruto left. He said that he expected great things out of the kid and that he shouldn't be filling his head with that shortcut crud. If he had known, he would have seen that he had changed Ibisu's view on him. And now back to the current show. So what are you doing here? Naruto asked the kids. We were hoping that you would play ninja with us, Mogi said. Naruto was about to answer when he heard someone call his name. He turned around to see Ino running towards him. She hugged him tight as Naruto hugged her back. Hey boss, is this your girlfriend? Kohinahamaru asked. Yes, Naruto said, putting an arm around Ino's waist. She is. Nice choice, Yuden said, eyeing Ino. Naruto glared at the boy, making him back off. So boss, Kohinahamaru said, trying to get Naruto from hurting his friend, you gonna play or not? The answer was Naruto suddenly jumping at them. The kids all laughed and ran. They all pretty much kept goofing around for a while until Kohinahamaru suddenly turned a corner and ran smack dab into someone. Said person was wearing mostly black with a hat that was pointed up to look like cat ears. He had purple war paint on his face. He had a ninja headband on his forehead and what looked like a mummy on his back. With him was a blonde. She was slender, wearing an outfit with black sandals and her headband around her neck. She also had her hair tied up in 4 ponytails and had a large battle fan. You little brat, the man growled, picking Kohinahamaru up by the shirt. I'll teach you a thing or two. Kankaro, the girl said, knock it off, it's just a kid. Quiet, Tamari, the now identified Kankaro said, this kid's going to learn some manners. Kankaro drew back his fist and was about to unleash a punch when a sudden flare of killing intent froze him like a statue. He looked to see Naruto, who didn't look the least bit happy with him. I suggest you put the boy down, Naruto growled, or else. Or else what? Kankaro laughed. The next thing Kankaro knew, Naruto was in front of him, gripping the arm that he was using to pick up that little kid in a vice grip that threatened to break it. Kankaro gritted his teeth in pain and let Kohinahamaru down. He backed up and reached her the pack on his back. The headbands they both had the Suna symbol on it. Naruto guessed that they were here for the Chunin exams. You can't use that here, Tamari said. What if Gaara finds out? Don't worry, he won't, Kankaro said as he started to pull the Pakage off his back when. Kankaro, what are you doing? Everyone turned to the voice to see a reed in a tree with a large gourd on his back. Naruto noticed that he had the word kanji for love above his right eye. Kankaro, he said, what did I tell you? Let this guy shut up. Or I'll kill you. Kankaro gulped at the killing intent that was leaking off of the redhead. Let's go, the redhead growled, Baki-sensei is waiting. Hold it, Naruto said, what's your name? Me? The blonde said, pointing to herself. Sorry, but I'm with another blonde, Naruto said, I meant the guy with the scar on his face. My name is Sabaku no Gaara, he said, you know my brother Kankaro and my sister Tamari. Who are you? Naruto Uzumaki, Naruto answered. I look forward to fighting you in the exams, Gaara said as he disappeared in a swirl of sand. Thanks for helping me, boss, Kohinahamaru said as he walked up to him. No problem, Naruto said, grinning. He looked to where the Suna ninja had walked. This could be very interesting, Naruto thought as he ran after the Kohinahamaru core. A few weeks later, Naruto was walking alone to the tower that the Chunin exams were being held. He was walking down the hall when he saw a group of people in front of the door. He noticed something weird, so he focused some chakra into his eyes. He saw through the disguise and smirked. This was a test to weed out weak genin. He figured he'd leave this alone. The less competition the better. Naruto noticed Sasuke was there, his new sword on his back, about to approach them. In an instant Naruto was next to him. Don't, he whispered, it's a test to weed out the weaker genin. Believe me in this, the less competition the better. Sasuke gave a less than perceptible nod and he and his team walked out of the way. Well, they did. 3 people noticed them. One was wearing pink and had her hair tied in 2 buns. The second was tall and had long black hair and pale eyes. The The third had on a green jumpsuit with orange legwarmers, a bowl-cut hairstyle, wide eyes and bushy eyebrows. "Where are they going?" the bushy-browed one asked. "Let's follow them and find out," the one with buns said. They three followed them and to their surprise ended up on the third floor, which shocked them because the genjutsu from earlier made them think they were on the third floor. As the three walked in, they found a whole lot of other teams from different villages. "Hey Naruto," said boy, turned around to be tackled and kissed by Ino. "Hey Ino-chan," Naruto said, wrapping his arms around his girlfriend. "Found you," said a voice that Naruto recognized. He tuned around to see some people he knew. He saw that Hinata, Kiba, Chaoji, Shikamaru and Shino were all there. "So the gang's all here," Kiba said, smirking. "So it would seem," Shino said in his usual monotone voice. "So," Ino said, "how have you been, Hinata?" "Fine," Hinata said, "I've gotten over the fact that Naruto's taken. I just need to find the right person." Kiba heard that and got hopeful. He had a huge crush on Hinata ever since the academy, but he didn't try to ask her out due to her crush on Naruto. When he found out Naruto was dating Ino, he was a little upset, but he let it go. "I'd be quiet if I were you," said a new voice. "You don't want to attract too much attention around here." The voice came from a boy with white hair tied in a ponytail and glasses. He had on a purple vest with a white undershirt. He had the Konoha headband wrapped around his forehead. "Who are you?" Sasuke asked, raising his eyebrow. "Kabuto," he said, "and you really have to consider being quiet." "Why's that?" Kiba asked. "There are a ton of people here from different villages. The more attention you get, the more likely you're going to get hurt." Naruto examined this possible opponent. He could sense strength and he felt that this guy was stronger than he seemed. He noticed the weapon's holster on his left leg, so he was left-handed, and then he noticed a thing of cards. "What's with the cards, Kabuto?" Naruto asked. "These are ninfo cards," Kabuto explained. "Bring someone up and they can tell you all their stats." "Got anyone to look for?" "I do," Naruto said, "a team of Konoha besides us. A Hyuga, a girl with buns in her hair and a guy with a bowl cut and big eyebrows. Also the team of Sunanin with Temari, Kankaro and Gaara." "Let's see here," Kabuto said as he took out some cards and examined them. "Well, the first guy you mentioned is Niji Hyuga. He was last year's Rookie of the Year. He has the Hyuga bloodline, the Byakugan, and has been on some regular missions. The second is Tenten Higurashi. She doesn't have much, but it says that she's a weapons expert. The final one is Rock Lee. He has a condition that keeps him from molding chakra correctly, so he specializes in Taijutsu." He took out another 3 cards and read them. "The Suna team," he continued, "are made up of the Kazekage's children. The oldest is Temari. She basically uses that fan of hers to manipulate the wind. The other is the second oldest, Kankaro. He's a puppet master. He uses puppets with various weapons to fight. Finally is the youngest, Gaara. It doesn't say much about him, but he went on an A rank mission and came back without a scratch." "Sounds like that raccoon's doing," Naruto thought. Kami had told him about some of the other Jinchuriki. He had been informed a lot about Gaara since he had a special ability. Kabuto was it. Naruto turned to see Niji Hyuga standing a few feet from them. He was looking at Naruto curiously. There were no records of his strength in the academy records since he was only there for 1 day. "I'd like some information on Naruto Uzumaki," Niji said, getting eyes from his teammates. "Let's see," Kabuto said, taking out a card. Naruto Uzumaki went on a few D ranked and a C rank turned A ranked. He fought and won against the demon of the mists Abusa. Ninjutsu unknown, Jinjutsu unknown, Taijutsu unknown. He is known for carrying a sword he has sealed in his arm called the Angel's Hand. The very same sword was used to shatter Abusa's. It doesn't say anything else." Everyone who was listening to this was astonished. A genin on his first mission encountered and beat Abusa Mamachi and shattered his sword. Everyone knew then that this guy was not to be reckoned with. Meanwhile, the Leaf genin were glad that he was on their team. Tenten was wondering if she could get a look at Angel's Hand later. Rock Lee was wondering how this guy would do against him in a Taijutsu battle. Niji, however, believed that this was an overblown reputation. Sasuke and Sakura, however, grinned at that, knowing that it was true. Lee across the way noticed her and walked over. "You're Sakura Haruno, yes?" he asked, getting Sakura's attention. "Yes, I am," she answered, "and you would be?" "I am the least handsome devil, Rock Lee," he said, and then he got on his knees. "It would mean my life if I were able to go on a date with you." Lee currently had hearts in his eyes as he looked at her. Normally Sakura would have been freaked out, but since her little realization on her last mission, she was thinking differently. She found that Lee's outfit and looks were odd, but he seemed like a nice guy. "What the heck?" she thought, "I'll try anything once." "Actually," Sakura said, "I think I'd like to go out with you. But on one condition." "What would that be, Sakura-chan?" Lee asked, wanting to get Sakura's favor. "Leave the jumpsuit and legwarmers at home," she said. "Oh, and try to wear something that would make you look good on a date." Lee nodded. Naruto and Sasuke both smiled to themselves. It was good that Sakura was looking into other men. It meant that they wouldn't have to listen to her go on and be a pain in the neck anymore. "Oh, and Naruto," Lee said as he turned to leave, "since there is very little known about your taijutsu, then I would like to face you during the exam." "I guessed," Naruto said, "by my guess you are a taijutsu expert because of your condition. I wouldn't mind testing my strength and speed against one. Then it will be a battle for the ages," Lee said, smiling, showing off some incredibly white teeth that almost blinded Naruto. Suddenly there was a large boom and a cloud of smoke appeared on the other side of the room. As it cleared, it revealed a man with a black trench coat and bandana with a Konoha symbol wrapped around his head. "Alright, you maggots," he yelled, "my name is Ibiki Moroni and I will be your proctor for the first exam. Now get your butts in here and find a seat." Ibiki, the mind sadist, Naruto thought. He had been told about him by Anko. This ought to be very interesting, he thought. Everyone filed into the room and sat down in chairs at random. Naruto sat next to Ino and Ibiki started to explain how the exam would work. "Okay," Ibiki said, getting everyone's attention, "here's how it works. The first part of the exam is a written test." Everyone grinned as they heard this. This was going to be easy. Ibiki continued, "You will have exactly 1 hour to complete this test. If you are caught cheating, then you and your team are disqualified." At that, everyone paled. If one of their teammates messed up, then every one of them was going to pay for it. They paled even more when Ibiki said that if they were caught cheating, then the team would be disqualified as well. All the while Naruto was smiling inwardly. Sneaky, he thought, he's using our own thoughts to mess with us. No wonder he's called the mind sadist. "Also," Ibiki said, breaking Naruto from his thoughts, "there will be a final question at the end of the hour. Get that one wrong and you will be disqualified along with your team." Everyone paled even more at that. Naruto, however, smirked inwardly, not showing that he was calm. After the tests were passed out, the hour had begun. Over the hour that happened, things were pretty boring. A lot of teams had been disqualified. The only interesting thing that happened was when that Kankaro guy asked to go to the bathroom. A lot of teams, however, were very adept at cheating. 1010 used a pack of mirrors to reflect the answers to her teammates using nearly invisible wires. Shikamaru was a genius, so he didn't need to cheat. The same thing went for Tamari. Kiba had Akamaru look at the answers of the guy in front of him and tell him the answers. Hinata had been studying, so she didn't have to cheat, and neither did Sakura. Sasuke used his Sharingan to copy the movements of another person's pencil. Ino used her mind transfer jutsu to take over Sakura's body and memorize her answers. Naruto had no need to cheat. During his training with his father and the Kages, he had learned all of the things he needed to know. As all this was going on in the bathroom, Kankaro turned to the guy who was supposed to be watching him to make sure he didn't do anything. "Now tell me all the answers," he said, grinning, starting from number 1. The guard's face cracked to reveal a camera-like eye and a face made of wood. After a while, the hour finally came to an end. "Alright," Ibiki said, "the hour's up. Time for the final question." Everyone was on the edge of their seat. It all came down to this. Only Naruto seemed to be calm. "Before I announce the final question," Ibiki said, "I should tell you that you don't have to answer it." A lot of people felt relieved until Tamari spoke up. "What's the catch?" she asked. "If you choose not to answer," Ibiki stated, "then you are not only disqualified from the exams, you're also forbidden from taking them again." At this, everyone was a little bit freaked out. If they didn't answer, then they couldn't continue the exam or do it ever again. It was maddening. "Who in here wants to back out?" Ibiki asked. It was then that Naruto raised his hand. His friends were wondering what he was up to. "Do you want to back out?" Ibiki asked. "Yeah," Naruto said, "if I can't answer this, then I'm going down on my own. I'm not going to drag my friends down with me." But that sentence, a lot of people smiled. This kid had a lot of guts. "Well then," Ibiki said, getting up, "for those of you still here, you pass." Silence. Shocked looks littered the entire populace of the people there. "What?" Tamari asked, "What about the final question?" "There was no final question," Ibiki explained, "the true test was to see how well you could gain information. Or in other words, cheat without getting caught. Since you have proved that you can do that, you pass to the second part." Almost as soon as Ibiki finished that sentence, a black object shot through the window. As soon as it came out, the sides shot out to form a banner that said, "Congratulations. Welcome to the second exam." In front of the banner stood Anko, Mitarashi and Zabuza, who now had a leaf headband. He also had something else, a large gold and white Zanbato. Since Naruto destroyed the old one, Zabuza used the metals in the forge to create a new one. "I told you we would be too early," Zabuza said. "Yeah," Anko said, "but I like to annoy Ibiki." Everyone stared at the two. A lot of guys were staring at Anko because of her choice in outfit. The girls were looking at her with looks of disgust and jealousy because they didn't have the guts to dress so outspoken. "Anyway," Anko said, getting everyone's attention, "follow us for the second part of the exam." Everyone got up and followed the two down into what looked like a large forest. It was surrounded by a gate that had a sign that said, "Do not enter." A lot of people were a little wary of the place. That turned to fear when they saw a massive millipede make its way around a tree. By massive I mean it was the size of a car. This, Anko said, is the forest of death. Here is where you'll be taking the second part of the exam. Looks like fun, Naruto said with his arms crossed. A lot of people looked at him like he was crazy. The test, Zabuza said, will consist of the teams taking a scroll. You have 3 days to find a scroll of the opposite. You'll have to fight your way through enemies and whatever the heck lives in this hole. Like I said, Naruto repeated, sounds like fun. The group of people took a step away from the guy who was clearly insane. The reason Naruto wasn't scared was because he had faced things that made this place look like a children's playground. His first kill was a demon for Pete's sake. This was going to be a picnic. Anko smiled and vanished. A moment later a cut appeared on Naruto's cheek and Anko was behind him with a kunai at hand. Boys like you are usually the first to go, she said as she licked a bit of blood of Naruto's cheek, tasty. The best I've tasted in a long time. She knew that Naruto wouldn't be scared so easily. After what he had been through he wasn't about to break down and cry. Naruto smirked and vanished in a puff of smoke. In his place was a log in his place. She felt cold metal pressing against the back of her neck. She turned to see Naruto with Angel's hand drawn in at her neck. I don't die easy, Naruto said, but I guessed you would have known that big sis. Everyone was shocked to hear that this guy was related to the proctor. All but one girl who was busy staring at the sword Naruto was holding. Then there was a flash of killing intent and both turned to see a grass ninja with a really long tongue. You shouldn't sneak up on people you know, Naruto said to the grass ninja. Sorry, she said, but I just wanted to return the proctor's kunai. Thanks, Anko said, but don't use so much killing intent, you're going to give the wrong idea. She took her kunai back and left. Naruto however had a bad feeling about this girl. She had a powerful dark aura about her and it didn't sit right with him, not at all. Naruto was about to put up his sword when he noticed that the girl from earlier with buns in her hair staring at it intently. He then remembered that this was the weapons mistress 1010. Can I help you? Naruto asked, getting the girl to look up from his sword. Sorry, she said blushing, I just have this thing for weapons. It runs in my family. So I noticed, Naruto said, I read it in your file. So what is it you want? Oh, she said, I wanted to see if I could get a look at that sword of yours. Okay, Naruto said, here. 1010 held out her hands and took the handle. Almost as soon as the sword was in her grip Naruto let go and the blade crashed to the ground and she was struggling to lift it. Man, she grunted, this is one heavy sword. The blade, he explained, is made out of extremely dense materials. If you don't train yourself enough you won't be able to lift it. Naruto reached down and picked the sword up. 1010 who was in mid-lift stumbled back and fell on her butt. Naruto, before she could say anything, turned and went to get his scroll for the exam. Naruto went behind a curtain at a booth to get it. He wound up getting a heaven scroll. So we won't know what kind of scroll the other teams will have, Naruto thought as he mused over this. Man, they must be trying hard to get a lot of people to fail. After Naruto got the scroll he went to wait at the gate he was assigned. He waited for about 20 minutes before Anko's voice sounded. Alright you maggots, she yelled, the second exam has officially begun. At that moment all the ninja rushed in. Naruto walked in for a few minutes until he found a spot to rest. Naruto knew he had to get something settled first. He currently had 2 summoning contracts and he had to get the bosses of both before he would be able to summon them. He sighed to himself. He really wished that he hadn't put this off for so long. He rolled up his left sleeve to reveal his muscled arm. "I," he whispered, and on his arm was the word lion in kanji. Naruto bit his thumb, smeared some blood on his arm and slammed his arm onto the ground. "Summoning jutsu?" he yelled. As he slammed his arm onto the ground a cloud of smoke rose up and revealed a black lion with a golden mane. This was the summons of the Namikaze clan. The lions. "Who has summoned me?" the lion asked in a deep gruff voice. "Oh Naruto," it said once it saw him, "why have you brought me here?" "There is something I need to talk to you about Mufasa-1," Naruto said. Naruto performed another summon, only this time a large silver wolf with golden eyes appeared. "What's going on?" the wolf asked. It noticed the lion and Naruto. "So you have the lion summoning contract," it said, its voice also deep, not as gruff as Mufasa's. "Do you wish to seek our permission to use both?" "Yes," Naruto said, "my father told me that one can use more than one summon if the bosses of the summons agree to work with one another. Since I am heir to the Namikaze and Uzumaki clans I was wondering if I could summon the animals of both." His father had told him about this years ago. Naruto just kept forgetting about getting the 2 clans to agree to both be his summons. The 2 great beasts looked at each other and then nodded. "Naruto, Lunar, the wolf boss mentioned earlier, said, we have known about you being of both of the clans that summon us. We have decided to work together with you. The lion and wolf clans are now your allies." But that said, the 2 beasts vanished in puffs of smoke. Naruto smiled. Now all he had to do was get to work on his parents' techniques and he would be set. Naruto then sensed something. He focused chakra into his ears and heard the sounds of footfalls. Suddenly 3 rain ninja all jumped out of the shadows. All three of them had on yellow jumpsuits. The one thing that made them stick out were their faces. All three had breathing devices on them. They had bandages covering their eyes, only one had both eyes showing, one had one eye showing, and the third didn't have any. "Hand over your scroll and you won't be hurt," the obvious leader of the three said. "Actually," Naruto said with a smirk, "I would be more worried about you getting hurt." Naruto then flipped through multiple hand signs in a minute and yelled, "Iron style. Iron grip." As soon as those words left his lips, three metal hands shot out of the ground. The one with both eyes showing managed to get out of the way of his. The other two were caught. "This guy has a bloodline," the rain ninja thought. "Nice try," he said, "I'd like to see your metal reach me up here." "Who said anything about using metal?" Naruto asked as he appeared behind him. He caught him and the two fell down to earth. As they fell, Naruto roared, "Wolf barrage." Naruto appeared above the rain ninja and started beating on him, changing between multiple punches and kicks. Each one met its mark and the rain ninja screamed in pain. Finally Naruto grabbed him by the legs and then flipped in midair, causing them both to spin like saw blades. It ended when the rain ninja's body was slammed hard into the ground with a loud boom. Naruto got up and stretched, popping his shoulders, and groaned. "Man, that one requires a lot of energy," Naruto thought. He reached down and started to search through the ninja's belongings. He found an earth scroll, so he didn't have to worry about this for now. Naruto was about to head to the tower when he felt a sudden dark chakra. It was the same one that he had felt from that grass ninja. He also felt something else. It was Sasuke. Naruto didn't waste any time and sped off toward the side of the problem. Meanwhile, Anko stood above the bodies of three dead ninja. Grass ninja to be precise. "Darn it," she cursed out loud, "it's his jutsu." She gasped when she realized Naruto was in the forest at the time. She sped off to go save her little brother. "Kid," she said to herself, "don't you dare do anything stupid." Meanwhile, in a part of the forest away from Naruto, Sasuke was not having a good day. Right now he was facing a grass nin that really freaked him out. She had swallowed her scroll and was fighting them. He was currently paralyzed with fear because of what he had seen her do earlier. Sai and Sakura were both in worse shape than him because they had received it too. The woman had shown them her eyes. When they looked at them, they saw the moment of their own death. "Sorry, Sasuke-kun," she said, "but I believe I will have to take my leave. Before I go though, here is a little gift from me." She rushed forward and shot her head out, extending her neck. She bit into his neck, making Sasuke scream in pain. After a second, a mark started to appear. It was in the form of 3 commas in a triangle shape. The heaven curse mark, she thought, how unexpected, yet delicious. She then moved forward to finish Sai and Sakura when Earth style. World of Graves. The grass ninja jumped out of the way just in time for a massive chunk of earth the size of a mausoleum crashed into the spot where she was standing. All three of them, not counting Sasuke since he is still in pain, looked to see Naruto standing in front of a massive crater. The source of the technique. "What did you do to my friends, you freak?" Naruto roared at the grass ninja. "I merely scared those two," she said. "As for Sasuke, I gave him a little gift." She was about to leave when Naruto suddenly appeared in front of her with his arms crossed. He was currently radiating blue and white chakra. "I don't think so, pal," he growled. "You mess with my friends, you mess with me. Get ready for a whole new world of hurt." Naruto pulled back an arm and punched the grass ninja in the face, sending her flying. Naruto raced after her. Unknown to him, a clash of the titans was about to begin. The grass ninja hit the side of a tree hard. She got up, surprised by the pure strength that had hit her. "Looks like I might have another candidate," she thought. Naruto just then jumped in front of her. She got up with a groan of pain. "You're good," she said, "I might actually have to try." She rushed forward. Naruto jumped back and the two clashed. The grass ninja threw a left hook, but Naruto caught it and sent a punch to her stomach. She managed to dodge to the side, but got intercepted with a kick to the side ribs and was sent to the side of a tree, striking shadow snakes. She cried as she slammed a hand onto the ground. As she did, thousands of snakes came out of the ground and charged at Naruto. Naruto responded by going through hand signs and yelled, "Earth style. Antlion jutsu." Naruto brought both hands down and a massive sand pit appeared, toppling a few trees and swallowing all the snakes and almost swallowing the grass ninja, who managed to get out of the way at the last moment. The grass ninja was about to try and run away, but she was suddenly caught by a bunch of ninja wire. She followed the wire to see it coming out of Naruto's mouth and he was going through hand signs. Fire style. Great dragon breath. Naruto sucked in some air and sent out a massive fire blast, igniting the wire and sending flames roaring at the female ninja. The flames hit and fire spread throughout the trees and incinerating the one that she was tied to. Naruto would have left, but he could still feel that dark chakra and he knew that this chick wasn't done just yet. He focused chakra into his eyes and managed to see through the flames and saw that she was still standing. Naruto also saw she was still tied to the tree, so she wouldn't be going anywhere soon. Naruto then used his wind affinity to take the air from the flames and put them out. "Alright," he shouted, "start talking." Who are you and what are you doing here? Well, if you must know, she said despite the burns, I have come to take the Sharingan from this village. How do you plan on doing that? Naruto asked, in case you haven't noticed Sasuke isn't dumb enough to just hand over his clan's secrets to some grass ninja freak. Oh but he will, she said laughing, that mark I gave him will make him seek me out for power. I know he wants to kill his brother and that will bring him to me. Sorry buddy, Naruto said, but I don't think that'll be happening since you'll be dead when that happens. Sorry, she said, but I don't die easy. At that moment she melted away into mud. Naruto realizing that there was another presence behind him jumped out of the way just in time for a massive snake to slam into the ground where he was previously standing. He looked and saw the grass ninja on top of the snake's head. It was then that Naruto noticed something. Some of her skin was peeling off and it was pale underneath. So that's it, Naruto said, that's how you're able to do this stuff. You're a Sannin. Smart boy, the being peeling of the rest of its face revealing a pale complexion, I am the snake Sannin Orochimaru. The snake freak who defected from the village years ago, Naruto stated getting up, looks like I'll get to try this out earlier than I thought. Naruto rolled his sleeve up to reveal the lion symbol on his upper arm. He bit his thumb, ran blood over it, slammed his hand onto the ground and yelled, summoning jutsu. There was a huge plume of smoke. When it cleared it revealed a lion as large as the snake with white fur and a golden mane. Naruto jumped on the lion's head and the lion charged at the snake Sannin. The snake charged also and the beasts clashed. Naruto and Orochimaru clashed also. The two engaged in another fist fight and Naruto was getting in a few hits, but so was his opponent. Naruto eventually managed to get a knee to the sage's stomach, but the sage also got a fist to Naruto's face. Naruto was sent back and he was starting to get very annoyed. That's it, he growled. He put his hands together intertwining his fingers and yelled, Chakra Seal Release 1. As he said this there was a sudden burst of chakra. When Orochimaru looked he saw a small amount of chakra flowing out of Naruto's body. What is this power? He thought. You like it? Naruto asked, you think with the QB I'd have less chakra? I have its power sealed away. 9 seals for 9 tails now let's see what you really got. Boil style. Scalding tsunami. Naruto focused his hands together and sent out a wave of water at the snake Sannin. The snake managed to dodge, but he was hit with some of the water and found that it was scalding hot. While he was preoccupied with his pain Naruto took advantage and rushed forward with a wild haymaker that sent the snake flying upward. Orochimaru caught himself and opened his mouth. Out slid a long sword called Kusanagi or grass cutter. Naruto saw this and unsealed Angel's hand. At the same time a lot of people were sensing the battle. Gaara was wondering who it was that had this power as did his sibling. The others however could only shiver at the thought of an enemy ninja having such strength. The only one who recognized it was Sakura since she had fled this before when Naruto killed Geto. Back at the fight the snake and lion were at each other's throats literally. The snake was wrapped around the lion's belly and was trying to squeeze the life out of him. Unfortunately for the snake the lion got a good grip with its teeth and flung it off. While the snake was down the lion pressed its front paw on the snake's back and put its head in its teeth. Then it pulled hard until there was a loud crack. The lion let go and the snake fell lifelessly to the floor. The lion roared in victory and vanished a plume of smoke. Back with the two ninja. Naruto and Orochimaru were clashing steel and Orochimaru was starting to tire. Naruto, thanks to his mother, had a large amount of stamina so he didn't tire easy. Orochimaru wouldn't be tired either, but Naruto had gotten it a lot of hits and the snake Sannin was starting to feel the problems. The two rushed each other and were at a standoff. I have to ask, Naruto said, why do you want the Sharingan? If I have it, the snake explained, then I can copy any jutsu that I want and I will be that much closer to my goal. You want to learn all the world's jutsu, Naruto said, I really doubt that it was worth killing people. There's so much blood on your hands that a sense dead monkey could smell the blood. Silence, Orochimaru growled, I have found the secret to immortality. I have found out how to live forever. But has it been worth the lives of hundreds of people? Naruto asked as he swung his sword sending Kusanagi away from Orochimaru. Orochimaru, Naruto said, you can save your soul and find peace, but you must be willing to give up the selfish ambition. You must give this up while you still can. No, he growled, I will never give up. Orochimaru charged at Naruto. Only for a large amount of white chakra to cover Naruto's arm and with a strong punch, sent a snake Sannin flying through the trees. Maybe Naruto thought, there is a chance that he will see the error of his ways. I pray that he does. His potential is wasted on such foolish ideals. Naruto hung his head and left the battlefield. He was about to go find a place to sleep when he remembered. That snake guy had bitten Sasuke. He remembered that he said that the mark would make his seek out the Sannin for power. He focused for a little bit and found Sok's chakra. He also sensed Sakura near him. He got up and rushed off towards the source. After about an hour of searching Naruto finally found them. Sai and Sakura were both watching Sasuke who was passed out in a hollow tree. What happened? Naruto asked as he made his appearance. The two were shocked, but they got over it since Naruto was known for doing some amazing things. That snake freak managed to sink her teeth into Sasuke, and no, he's unconscious, Sakura explained, he's been like this for a day. Sakura didn't use the kun suffix anymore since she was finally over him. However, that didn't mean that she wasn't worried about her teammate. I think I might know what's going on, Naruto said. Sakura and Sai listened intently. First off, Naruto started, that grass ninja was Orochimaru in disguise. They both gasped but didn't talk since Naruto continued. He put this curse mark on Sasuke, so he would seek him out for power, but I think I might be able to counter it. Naruto walked up to Sasuke, placed a hand on his head and said, angel style. Mind Walker. In a sudden flash Naruto was gone, and Sakura and Sai looked at each other with shock clear on their faces. At that moment 3 figures showed up. One was covered almost completely in bandages and had long purple sleeves that ran down his entire arm hiding it. The second one had spiky hair and a yellow shirt. The third, who was a girl, had long black hair and camouflage pants. That him? The girl asked. Yep, the spiky-haired one answered. Then let's go, the bandaged one said. Meanwhile in Sasuke's mind, Naruto was walking through what looked like the Uchiha mansion. Naruto figured that it would be like this since Sasuke was upset about the murder of his clan all those years ago. The compound looked dark and dismal. It would have been nighttime in here except Naruto could see a lot of storm clouds, making it seem dark and gloomy. Naruto searched around the grounds until he found Sasuke talking to the snake Sannin. Join me, Orochimaru said, this is the only way that you will be able to avenge your clan. Sasuke, don't listen to him. Naruto yelled, he just wants to give you power so that he'll take your body to make himself stronger. Quiet Naruto, Sasuke growled, this is the only way. This is the only way that I will be able to get strong enough to avenge my clan. So you're just going to forget about us? Naruto asked stepping closer to the two, what about me and Sakura? Sai and the others? Aren't we your friends? What about Haku? As soon as Naruto said her name Sasuke's eyes widened. You love her don't you? If you leave she'll be crushed. You don't want to be the one to make her cry to you? Sasuke rose up and glared at the snake Sannin. Out, he growled, get out of my mind. As soon as those words left the Uchiha's lips the snake suddenly burst into black flames. As soon as the ashes faded the sky brightened up and the dark clouds were replaced with clear blue sky. Welcome back Sasuke, Naruto said smiling. Thanks, Sasuke said. Naruto started to fade away from Sasuke's mind when he remembered something. Oh, he called, and while I was looking around I gave you a little adjustment. Sasuke was about to ask what it was when Naruto completely faded away. I can ask him when I wake up, Sasuke said to himself. At that moment in the real world Naruto reappeared and Sasuke woke up from his nap. They looked outside of the hollow to see something that made both of their blood come to a boil. The scene Sakura unconscious with a bleeding head and Lee who looked like he was in extreme pain. Sai, Shikamaru, Ino, and Chaoji were going against the sound trio. At that moment the two flared their chakra and made their presences known. Mind telling us what you're doing with our friends? Naruto asked with a little anger clear in his voice. We were sent here on a mission, the bandaged one said, they got in the way so we are trying to end that. Over our dead bodies, Sasuke growled activating his Sharingan. As he did he got gasps from a few people. Unknown to him the eye had changed. Instead of the regular red color his iris was completely black except for a white tomo in each eye and a red pupil. The spiky-haired one raised his arms and yelled, splicing sound waves. Sasuke noticed holes in his hands as he raised his arms. Naruto noticed it too, and they both jumped out of the way just in time for a blast of air to shoot out and destroy the tree that they were once inside. Darn it, he growled, missed. Naruto appeared next to Sakura and started to heal the wound in her head. Naruto, she said weakly, what happened to Sasuke's Sharingan? I made an adjustment, Naruto said, I call it the Onyx Sharingan. I not only changed the color but improved it. I don't want to tell you no because there are so many people here. Sakura nodded and watched as Sasuke fought the sound ninja. The bandaged one tried to get in a hit, but Sasuke dodged it and ripped his sleeve, revealing a strange device with holes in it on his arm. The spiky-haired one tried to use the cannons on his arms again, but Naruto had finished healing Sakura's head and rushed over to him. He grabbed the sound ninja's arms and pulled them back to where the ninja was bent over and couldn't get up. Get off of me. He yelled, but Naruto didn't. You seem pretty proud of these arms, Naruto said, let's see if we can't fix that. Naruto twisted one arm until there was the sound of a loud crack. The ninja screamed in absolute pain as his arm was broken. Meanwhile the bandaged guy was sent flying into a wall via a kick to the face from Sasuke, and the girl was scared at the sight of their strength. Leave your scroll, Naruto said, and get out of here. The girl didn't need to be told twice. She took out the scroll left it on the ground and got her butt out of there. The bandaged one had also learned not to mess with him, grabbed the spiky-haired guy, who had lost consciousness from the pain, and left with the girl. Naruto picked up the scroll and looked at Team 7. What scrolls do you guys need? Naruto asked them. An earth scroll, Sai answered. Here, Naruto said, tossing the earth scroll to them, I already got the scrolls I need. At that moment Tenten and Neji showed up. Tenten shook Lee and yelled at him until he was awake. Naruto shook his head slightly at the fact that she was rough with her own teammate but didn't say anything. If there was one thing he knew is that you never piss off a woman, especially if she knows how to use a sword. After waking up their teammate Neji and Tenten left and so did Ino, Shikamaru and Chaoji wishing them good luck. So, Sasuke said as they left, now that we have some time to ourselves, what exactly did you do to my Sharingan? I improved it, Naruto said, I call it the Onyx Sharingan. With one Tomo you have the same power as the regular Sharingan when you have all three. The second Tomo brings out the Tsukunomi and the third the Amaterasu. However, the Manju version I don't know what it does, I didn't really pay attention to that part. Sasuke was quiet. Naruto gives him a sword and an improved version of his Sharingan. This was really starting look up. Does this new version end with me? Sasuke asked suddenly. No, Naruto said, I had to alter your genes to do this, so it will get passed on to your children. Sasuke smirked at this. Well, Sai said, since we don't have to worry about you stealing our scroll, why don't we head to the tower? Good idea, Sakura said, I don't know if I could make it without the extra help. Alright, Naruto said, let's go. But that the four headed out to the tower. Naruto and the others arrived at the tower. It hadn't been that hard since it wasn't really that long since they were there. They noticed that the team from Suna had made it. What had them surprised was that none of them had a scratch. They also noticed that teammate was there too. Hey guys, Kiba said as he noticed them, how'd you get here so fast? Well, I got mine from when I beat a team of Rain Ninja, Naruto explained, and these three got theirs from a group of Sound Ninja. How did you get yours? We got ours easy, Kiba bragged, we set a trap with a bunch of leeches on some other ninja and took their scroll. Not bad, Naruto complimented. The rest of their time there was uninteresting new teams came and Naruto was noticing that there were a lot of people here. He had a feeling that they weren't going to the final round so quickly. On the final day they were all called to a room in the south end of the tower. You have all been called here for a special reason, the Hokage said, since there is a large amount of finalists this year, we will have a few preliminary rounds. Preliminary? Kiba repeated. Yes, the Hokage said, the contestants will be selected randomly and shown on the screen. Bring out the screen. On the far wall that showed a pair of hands doing a hand sign, a screen came out and showed multiple names. Now let's see the first match. Multiple names were shown until it landed on two. Sasuke and Yoroi. Looks like I get to fight first, Sasuke said. Up in the banister the Sound Team sensei, who was Orochimaru in disguise, smiled as he saw his future vessel's name. Time to see what you can do, he thought. The other contestants got up in the banister above them and watched. Sasuke surveyed his opponent. He had on a mask that covered most of his faces except for his eyes, but he wore sunglasses. Haku appeared only she wore a Chunin vest. Meaning she was going to be the ref for this. Contestants ready? She asked, begin. Sasuke charged at Yoroi with his new Sharingan active. The two basically threw punches at each other until Yoroi managed to get a good grip on Sasuke. As soon as Sasuke felt the grip he felt his strength start to drain. You're stealing my chakra, he realized. Yeah, Yoroi said, it's special ability of mine. What are you gonna do no? This, Sasuke answered. He brought his leg up sending Yoroi into the air. Sasuke jumped into the air and appeared behind Yoroi. He shot out a punch that Yoroi managed to grab but got hit by another one. A third punch sent Yoroi downward and Sasuke went down after him with a powerful kick that sent him into the ground. Lion's barrage. Sasuke said as he delivered the kick. Winner. Sasuke-cha. Haku said. She sent a slight wink at her boyfriend. Sasuke grinned as he returned to his spot in the banister. The computer ran through names again until it stopped. Naruto Uzumaki vs Rock Lee. Yosh. Lee cried, I get a chance to face this mysterious opponent. Looks like I get to face Lee's challenge sooner than I thought, Naruto said out loud. Naruto, Sakura said, don't underestimate Lee. He's really strong. I wouldn't expect any less from the guy who challenged me, Naruto said. The two made it down to the arena and stared at each other. So Lee, Naruto said, since you challenged me I guess I'll only use my Taijutsu. Yes, Lee said, I wish to see your Taijutsu since it was unmentioned in your profile. Ready? Haku asked, begin. Lee rushed forward and jumped in the air with a spinning kick. Leaf Hurricane. He yelled. Naruto jumped out of the way moving at a speed that matched Lee's. Naruto rushed at him using a few punches and kicks trying to get beat on Lee. Lee managed to dodge them but ended up with a firm shot to the jaw, knocking him back a few feet. He's strong, Lee thought as he recovered from the punch. Lee rushed at Naruto again and the two clashed in a grappling contest. You're very strong, Naruto said, this is the first time someone's pushed me this far in a fist fight. Good, Lee said, that means I'm doing my job. They suddenly broke away and Naruto ran at him and threw a punch that formed cracks in the ground when Lee jumped out of the way. Naruto was still holding back since he didn't want to show his full power yet. Lee jumped back. This opponent was much more powerful than he thought he would be. Lee and Naruto looked up to see a man that looked exactly like Lee only with bigger eyebrows and a Chunin vest. "Take him off," he said with a grin. "But Guy-sensei," Lee said, "you told me not to take them off unless it was to protect someone important." "Well, I'm making an exception this time," Guy said, making Lee grin. Lee reached into his leg warmers and took out pair of weights. "Ah," he sighed, "now I can move freely." Naruto raised an eyebrow. He didn't know he had leg weights. He was wondering how much they weighed. He got his answer when Lee dropped them. They hit the ground forming crater. Lee suddenly vanished and reappeared in front of Naruto, sending a strong kick to the face. Naruto managed to block it but was sent back. "So you wear weights, huh?" Naruto said, "Small world." "What does he mean by that?" Sakura asked. As she said this, Naruto threw off his trench coat, revealing a pair of muscled arms. The girls all stared, especially Ino. Haku tried not to stare because she didn't want to cheat on Sasuke. They were all shocked, however, when a loud boom echoed through the room. They looked to see Naruto's coat in the middle of the crater. His coat had weights in it. Guy exclaimed as he saw the size of the crater, and the weight is as much as Lee's. Naruto smirked at the shocked look on Lee's face. "Now let's see just how fast you really are," Naruto said as he vanished from sight. Pretty soon after, Lee vanished too. Suddenly there was the sound of crashed as the two combatants clashed again and again. After a few minutes of loud crashing, they eventually stopped. They both had a good amount of bruises on their arms and legs. Most likely from all the times that they had punched and hit each other. "Enough of this," Naruto said, getting into jutsu stance. "Final move. One of the stronger ones we have." Lee nodded and got into his fighting stance. Naruto chakra began to show, and Lee started to undo the bandages on his arms. Naruto ran at Lee, but Lee was prepared with a kick to the chin and sent Naruto flying upwards. Lee jumped up after him and wrapped the bandages around Naruto's body, pinning his arms to his sides. Lee then turned them both upside down and began a downward freefall, yelling, "Primary Lotus." The move collided with the ground and Lee stood up thinking he had won when he saw that in Naruto's place there was a crushed log. "Unbelievable," Guy said with a shocked face, "no one has ever gotten out of the Primary Lotus before." The other senseis were all looking shocked themselves. How the heck did this kid learn how to do this? In the arena, Lee was looking around to find Naruto until he heard a voice in his ear. "My turn," it said. Just then Naruto appeared and sent Lee skyward with an uppercut. Naruto jumped up and appeared again in front of him. Naruto caught Lee by the front of his jumpsuit and gave him a nasty head, but Naruto followed this up with a strong kick to the stomach, sending Lee to the ground, forming a crater as he crashed. Naruto dove down with chakra encasing his fist and yelled, "Raging Lion." The fist made contact and there was a huge boom as the ground cracked. Guy gasped. If that made contact, his student was dead. He jumped down from the banister and over to where Naruto was standing. "I thought you were youthful," Guy said, "but you proved me wrong by killing my student." "What are you talking about?" Naruto said with a raised eyebrow. Guy looked at Naruto confused until he looked down in the crater. Lee was currently unconscious and had a lot of bruises, but that's not what got Guy's attention. Right next to Lee's chest was a crater. The spot where Naruto hit. "I had a feeling Lee would be unconscious after that kick," Naruto explained, "and I'm not about to kill a potential sparring partner." But that said, Naruto left for the medics to take care of Lee. Meanwhile, Orochimaru was staring at Naruto as he left. He was currently in conflict. He did want the Uchiha bloodline, but Naruto's words in the forest kept coming back to his mind. Orochimaru could only watch as Naruto was walking back to the banister. On the banister, Lee's teammates were in shock. One of their strongest was just cut down by a person as strong as him. The Leaf teams were glad that Naruto was on their side and the others were nervous that he was. The Sand team, however, were a mix of feeling. Temari was interested. This guy just seemed to be full of surprises. Kankaro was scared. He wanted to beat that guy into the ground for what he did to him. Now he was starting to think that challenging this guy would be putting a foot in the grave. Finally, Gaara was smirking with a look that chilled his brother and sister. Gaara suddenly vanished in a swirl of sand and appeared near Naruto. "Uzumaki," he growled, "if the Uchiha can't prove my existence, then you will." Those words sent a chill down the sides of everyone who heard it. The very sound of the bloodlust in the voice made everyone pale and look like they were going to faint. "I look forward to that," Naruto said, shocking people, "just be sure not to lose your cool when I beat you." Gaara just let out a dark chuckle and went back to his siblings. The rest of the matches weren't that interesting. Ino fought Sakura and the two ended up knocking each other out. Apparently Sakura had learned about her affinity, which was earth, and used a few earth-style moves on Ino. Ino countered with some fire style herself. In the end they were both almost out of chakra, so they ended up knocking each other out with one punch. Naruto was smiling at how far Sakura had come. He was also proud of Ino for showing such strength. Kiba went against a grass ninja, lost. Fortunately, the grass ninja also lost consciousness at the same time due to blood loss from Kiba's fang over fang. Kankaro fought against a ninja similar to Yoroi, except he dislocated his joints to become incredibly flexible. He would have crushed Kankaro's neck, but the one he was holding was a puppet and the real one was in the pack on his back. Kankaro won after breaking the man's neck. Shino went against Zaku and won when he plugged the holes in his arms that sent out the sonic blasts. Damari went against Tenten and won by using her wind scythe jutsu to deflect her weapons, knock her in the air, and then drop her down on her iron fan. Gaara went against some other grass ninja who unfortunately got crushed by a sand coffin. The sight unnerved a lot of people. Naruto, however, looked at Gaara. He knew that he had to do something, but he had to wait until they fought. The match that got Naruto's attention was the match between Hinata and her cousin Neji. Neji had a grudge against the main house for the death of his father. Neji tried to kill her, but Hinata revealed that she had more skill by using a Kaiten and the 64 palms technique. Unfortunately, she lost consciousness doing the techniques due to the fact that her chakra reserves weren't that high. The next match was between Kin, the female sound ninja, and Shikamaru. Kin tried to disorient him using Senbon with bells with a sound that caused him to become disoriented. Fortunately, Shikamaru used his shadow possession jutsu to take control over her. He made her bend back and slam her head into the wall, knocking her out. The final match was between Dosu and Chaoji. Chaoji tried to crush Dosu with his human boulder technique, but Dosu dodged and, using his sound bracers, knocked Chaoji out cold with a sonic attack. Of course, as soon as Chaoji woke up he wanted some barbecue. Now then, the Hokage said, the board will show the matches for the final round. The board went through multiple names at random until it landed on certain ones. Naruto Uzumaki vs Neji Hyuga, Shikamaru Nara vs Tamari Sabaku, Shino Aburam vs Kankaro Sabaku, Sasuke Uchiha vs Gaara of the Desert. Neji and Naruto glanced at each other. Naruto smirked and Neji just turned his head away. Naruto shook his head. Now, the Hokage said, you have 1 month to prepare. 1 month? Kankaro asked, what's that about? The month, Sarutobi explained, is so that you can get some new tricks. It's no use if you use the same moves again now, is it? Everyone got the meaning of it. If they use the same moves like they did today, the person that they fight could easily counter their moves. It was a chance for them to come back with some new tricks. Everyone understand? Sarutobi asked, getting nods from everyone, then dismissed. Everyone filed out, but he noticed the old man making hand gestures toward him. Kushina had taught Naruto sign language, so he knew what he was saying. Naruto, it said, your father and I will be revealing your heritage at the final rounds of the Chunin exams. Be ready because I just know someone is going to do something stupid when they find out. Naruto smirked. He couldn't wait until the village found out that the kid that they had tried to kill for a long time was the son of their savior. He also knew that the council was going to try and do something dumb as well, but he decided that that was bridge he would cross when he got there. Meanwhile, in another village, a blonde woman sat in front of a slot machine waiting for the wheels to stop spinning. Next to her was a short brunette holding a pig in her arms. Of course, with her luck she knew that it wasn't going to go well. She was called the legendary sucker for a reason after all. Suddenly the machine stopped and it landed on 3 sevens. Well, said a voice over the intercom, it looks like the lucky lady on slot number 7 has won our jackpot. The woman was completely shocked, as was her assistant. She didn't win at gambling. Something wasn't right here. Looks like your luck is finally starting to change, said a voice that sounded very familiar to the blonde. She turned around the face of someone that she never thought she would ever see again. "GG Grandpa?" she asked with a shaky voice. Hashirama smiled at her. "Hello," he said, "my darling granddaughter." The blonde's eyes started to tear up and then she rushed forward and hugged the man. "Tsunade," he said, "it's so good to see you again." So that's it for today. I hope did you enjoy it. If you do, please leave a like, share and subscribe. Thanks for watching.